acting in the best interests of the baby.
Yeah, well, am I going to have to say much? Because I'm not real good at that, and I always seem to say the wrong thing.
You'll have to give evidence, Mrs. Burns. There's no way we can avoid that.
No, I suppose not.
But I think we can work up a good case. Of course, the escape attempt, that's another matter altogether.
Do you think they'll come down real heavy on me for that?
Well, to be honest, I think you'll probably have to expect the worst. It's not your first offence of this nature, and I don't think the judge will be inclined towards leniency this time.
Well, it looks like I'm going to be stuck in here for bloody ever.
Come on. It won't be that bad.
Won't it?
Went out to pick up a paper.
Yeah, I heard you go. I was just wondering where you were, that's all.
Look, you're safe here, Judy. I wouldn't turn you in, neither would Mickey.
I know that, Wally. I'm just a bit edgy today, you know? What's it say in the paper?
Oh, just a bit about prisons and escapees in general. Seems to have been a lot of escapes lately.
Say anything about me?
Yeah, you Rada mentioned them.
Well, what does it say?
Better read it yourself.
This is under the heading of dangerous escapades. But I'm not dangerous.
It says likely to be violent.
Oh, well, that is terrific. That is fantastic. Now the cops will have a whole new attitude towards me.
How do you mean?
You know what violent means? Violent means shoot first, ask questions later. Damn it, I'm not violent.
Just give a good impression, huh?
Look, throwing things about is one thing. Bashing people up is another. Now, I have never bashed up anyone in my whole life. Well, just a cop, that's all.
What cop?
When I escaped the first time, you see, I was in hospital. I had to knock this cop out to get away. I didn't want to do it, did I? There was no other way.
Or maybe they saw that as being violent.
You don't like all this, do you?
No, I don't. That's why I live alone. There's enough violence in the world as it is, in the streets, marriage, violence against kids. I've seen it all. I don't like any of it.
Well, maybe I'd better get out of your hair then, since I'm so violent.
And where you gonna go? Come on, sit down. I'll make you another cup of tea. You never know, if you drink enough of the stuff, you might get to like it.
I'm sorry, Wally. It's just that I'm feeling as caged up in here lately as I did at Wentworth.
Judy, real prisons are in the mind. If you're truly free, you can be free anywhere.
Yeah, I know that. I think what's really bothering me is I'm worried about Mickey's involvement in all this.
No, you couldn't have kept her out of it.
Oh, that's true, isn't it? I don't believe this. You know what they're saying here now? They're saying that they're going to step up the security measures at the prison. Don't they realize that if they rehabilitated the prisoners, they wouldn't need to step up the security measures?
Well, now you might get a chance to get that point of view across, eh?
Well, I'm going to try, Wally. Even if it means getting caught.
It seems incredible to me. Here's the paper calling for tighter security measures in prisons. And what are we doing? Slackening our security measures.
Mrs. Davidson's just trying to make this place bearable for officers and inmates alike.
But the moment we lower our guard, these animals take advantage of it. Mrs. Davidson's too soft.
I suppose you'd prefer Mr. Gillespie.
As far as tighter security measures, yes, I do. These animals are...
They are not animals, Vera. They are human beings, just like you and me.
Well, suit yourself. I don't want to be classed in with that lot.
Look, I know some of these women will never be anything else but crims. But given the chance, some of these women could make a better life for themselves. That article completely ignores rehabilitation.
And how many of these women do you think want to be rehabilitated?
Well, not in those terms, perhaps. But given the chance for a better life, most of them would take it.
They'd laugh in your face. They're happy in the gutter.
Well, I don't agree. I'm glad we're getting an education program. And if they apply themselves, some of these women could get decent jobs when they leave here.
If they apply themselves. But I'm sure they won't be interested.
Well, we'll see. I just think they'd be a lot happier if they had something constructive to occupy their minds. We should be right behind the project.
What is it this time?
I just thought this would be handy for you with the telly, so you don't have to lean forward to change channels. See? You just press any button you want for the channel.
I don't want any of it. You can take the whole thing away as far as I'm concerned.
But Dr. Marsden hired it for you himself. Take your mind off things a bit. Come on, Mrs. Birdsworth. Just give it a try. There you are. You just keep pressing the buttons till you find something you want.
Bloody rubbish.
And was rushed to Wentworth Hospital after suffering a near-fatal heart attack. Considering the circumstances I've described of her previous 20 years of imprisonment for a crime she did not commit, it seems incredible that this old and feeble woman was eventually returned to prison on lesser charges. We put forward a strong and urgent plea that immediate action be taken for her release.
Why can't they leave
And
me
now,
alone?
from the sad case of Lizzie Birdsworth, we turn to a happier subject, the breeding of border collies.
Leave me alone. Just leave me.
Until tomorrow, this is Graham Hopkins bidding you good night.
Wow, fancy Lizzie getting all that publicity, eh?
Yeah, terrific. Oh, but maybe it isn't.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how Lizzie feels about leaving here. She wouldn't want to leave all her friends. She mightn't take kindly to somebody trying to get her released.
Oh, no, she wouldn't either. I hope she wasn't watching. It might upset her.
She wouldn't have a telly, though, would she?
Nah, probably not. Just as well. Might be just a thing to start her off again.
Yeah.
Mickey's lucky. Huh? Oh, I was just thinking that you two like each other a lot.
Yeah, I guess we do.
You know, my dad didn't like me much. Not even when I was little. He liked my sister. Mind you, she was a pretty one. Cute as a button, Shirley Temple curls, the whole bit.
Yeah, well, Mickey's pretty, but that's not the reason I love her. She's a gutsy kid, not frightened to make a decision.
I noticed that.
Speak of the devil, here she is.
Oh, I wonder if she remembered to deliver the letter.
G'day, didn't expect to see you again today.
Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to see Judy.
Oh, everything okay?
Yes, of course. Just thought you might like the clothes you asked for.
Oh, thanks. Ooh, a bit girly, aren't they?
I also thought you might be interested in the current affairs program I saw on TV tonight. It was about a prisoner from Wentworth, Elizabeth something.
Elizabeth?
Yes, she's an old woman.
Lizzie Birdsworth?
Yeah, she's in hospital.
What's wrong with her?
Well, a heart attack. Anyway, the current affairs program is playing for public sympathy, pleading for her release.
Is she gonna be okay?
Well, they didn't say. They said it was near fatal.
Well, there you go, you see. That'd all be my fault. The escape would have brought that on.
Well, listen, can't you see this will be the perfect opportunity for you?
What do you mean?
I see what Mickey's getting at. It created a lot of interest in Wentworth.
Yeah, well, if you can tell them the conditions inside contributed to this old woman's heart attack, well, they've got to listen. So why don't you arrange a meeting with this current affairs program girl?
What?
Well, a secret meeting. You could interview on camera.
Well, that'd be a bit dangerous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but think of the coverage you'd get. You'd have a chance to tell thousands of people about the conditions in places like Wentworth.
Now,
and
hang
really-
on a minute. Don't you rush me in anything, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Mickey's like a bull at a gate. You take your time to think about
Well,
it.
I'm going to have to because I can't afford to take any chances now.
Yeah, well, don't think about it too long, because if this Lizzie dies...
Don't say that. Lizzie is not going to die. She's a tough old bird.
All right, if she gets well, then whichever way it goes. She's big news now, but she won't be for long. All I'm saying is don't miss your chance.
Okay. Now, you just hang in there a minute because I'm the one that has to make the decisions, huh?
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Davidson.
Almost time for you to go home and get some rest, isn't it, Mrs. Morris?
Yes, I'll just finish this and then I'll be off. I want to visit Lizzie sometime this morning. I have a letter here from Mrs. Huntley that should cheer her up.
Oh, good. I hope she wasn't watching television last night.
Yes, I heard some of the women talking about it. Do you think there'll be some pressure to have her released?
Well, I imagine there will be. no one would believe that Lizzie wants to stay in here, or at least until the Huntleys get back from America.
Yes, it's a bit hard to explain, isn't it? I mean, who'd believe anyone would want to stay in prison?
Well, I hope if she was watching last night, she's not too depressed about it. Try and reassure her as much as you can when you see her this morning.
Yes, I will.
And give her my best wishes. I don't think I'll get a chance to see her. I was talking to her